And roll sound.
Scene 3, Apple, take 2.
And action.
How long has delivering film and TV training been a goal on Vancouver Island?
20 plus years.
And we're in Campbell River. It is the North Island Film Commissioner who is standing next to me, and this is Joan Miller. Joan, hi, welcome to the Crossroads. How are you today?
Oh, I'm awesome. It's a really good day in our world. Thank you.
I'm kind of curious about the whole film industry on Vancouver Island, because it's something that I'm new to the island, so I'm kind of starting to get reestablished back in Canada after being away for 15 years. And have you been in the industry for at least 15 years?
At least 15 years. I'm not going to go any further into my history than that, but yes, I've covered more than 15 years here.
Okay, well, I was based in Istanbul, Turkey for many years, working in media, and actually my office was in a film studio such as this, where we are today. And this is very exciting here, because what's happening here now? What's happening today with this film shoot?
Today is kind of our wrap day for our pilot film training program. You know, we've been working as a great go-to for locations for many years. Big studios come here for things they can't access in Vancouver. We've got all these vistas and beautiful mountainsides and ocean sides, but they always come and they leave as soon as possible because of the costs of keeping the crew in hotels and per diem and travel. So we've, for a long time now, try to focus on how can we build our capacity so that we can keep production here longer, and it's all about job creation. So this project was about 2 years in the making, where we really set out to look at how can we take people from our region who have transferable skills in different trades and give them short-term training in our industry. It gives them the opportunity to work at home more often. So instead of having to run to northern Alberta or northern BC for projects, we want to be able to support them to come and work on projects that we're working on. Film industry is booming in British Columbia right now. Vancouver is peaking. It's hit its capacity. Productions are more and more interested into spreading out around British Columbia. Vancouver Island's very attractive to them because of our close proximity and because of the vast amount of locations that we have. So this training program was a pilot, and it allowed us to develop 4 different areas. Was the production assistance, our grip, our lighting, and our set construction. So we worked with North Island College for the last year and a half to develop the program, and what you're seeing today is our first graduation of our 3 main trades, and we're already looking at putting these people at work on production in the coming of the new year, so it's very exciting.
Well, I didn't realize all this was going on. I'm glad to be back. It seems like it's not even a renaissance. It's sort of like the cutting edge of jobs in the film industry on the island. 15 years ago, was there anything out here happening on the island?
You know, 23 years ago, we were here in Campbell River with a big Disney movie called The 13th Warrior. I mean, we had 2,200 people on set. There was a lot of jobs that were activated here. In fact, this mill that we're filming in right now was on strike that year. So all those people were out of work. So there's so many crossover skills in our industry that this film picked them up, a lot of them, to be extras or to be doing a lot of work in the building and the construction. We needed so many people, but they brought a huge crew with them. That kind of started it all for us. That was the real kick in the pants to say, wow, this is jobs, this is economic impact to communities. But along the way, that journey really turned into the big studios coming for access to the beaches, access to the forests. But like I said, they would turn around and go back to Vancouver as quick as they could to get that crew home so that they didn't have to pay them per diem in hotels. It's a business, it's a bottom line driven business. So we're kind of trying to balance the creative side when the director's looking for those amazing vistas or those locations that have not been overshot. In their mind, they want something where no one's ever shot there before. It's pretty hard in the Lower Mainland now to not go someplace that hasn't had so much production that the costs have risen, location costs. We have a lot of benefits over here. Our communities are very excited to have this industry come to their community. They're very well aware with how important it is that they sharpen their pencil. We can't charge the same prices in Vancouver because of the cost of bringing things over here. But if we can find the sweet spot, if we can say we have 50-60% local crew, that you can bring some of your key people over, but we can support those other departments. If we have communities that understand the benefits that the industry is bringing financially, they come, they film, they leave, and they do leave a lot of economic impact behind. So they can say, we'll give you some soft incentives. Many of our communities look at providing parking on their property for free, and different things that if you had to pay for that in Vancouver has a high cost. And well, it costs more to come over here when they can say we have parking for free and we have these different soft incentives. We're now talking what the real decision makers want to know, how much is it going to cost us to do that. So, we've learned all of these things over the years and we're getting pretty good at it. Now we have a television series going into its third year. We have, we were piloting television series last year. So we're not just the big feature films that want the big vistas anymore. The independent production is really serious about filming over here when they can access trained workers to the quality of training that our guys are giving them here, because they can bring their lower budgets over here and make it happen where they can't make it happen in Vancouver right now.
Scene 4, Baker, take 1.
Smack it.
And action.
How long have you been providing services to the film industry?
Over the past few years, more specifically the last 2 years with Chesapeake Shores.
What led you to invest with your partners to open a film studio on Vancouver Island?
It was a crazy idea. Whose idea was that? Must have been Jones.
The film industry is actually has a symbiotic relationship with many levels of government, with many levels of unions and everything else like that. How is the region itself, is it receptive to this?
Interestingly, the regions of BC, the local communities, local government have been supporting this for longer, and I think if you look at per capita, more than the Lower Mainland. The Lower Mainland communities have really had the benefit of it and haven't had to invest in it. They receive funding for parking and security and things. The regions, in order to develop this as part of their economic pie, have invested, and it's really great to see that all across British Columbia. We have certified film commission officers that look after regions. Local communities all share the cost of that, because for my job, we don't charge the industry anything. We can't, because I'm a certified film commissioner, an international commissioner, I can't charge for my services, which shock a lot of people. And they think, well, it's a big industry, and they come to town, they spend a lot of money, and people think we get a piece of it, but we don't. It's the local communities, it's every one of our communities up and down our region that support us as the Regional Film Commission that cover the costs. So they have been investing for a long time in good faith, and we're really pleased to be able to see this coming to fruition as a way to show that, yes, you believed in our vision, and now the vision is now playing out in front of you.
This blue work right here can get.
All right, and welcome to the Crossroads. What's your name?
Ingrid.
And your name?
And Sophie.
And Sophie. Welcome to the Crossroads, and we have this interesting truck with all sorts of interesting stuff in here. Well, first off, tell me, what is your job in film right now? What are you working at right now?
For our school project, I'm considered the best girl, so I'm responsible for the inventory on the truck, kind of the coming and going, and helping things move along.
Okay. And yourself?
So I'm training to be a grip. So that means like shaping the light mostly, and like doing the rigging where the lights are attached, and all those kind of things.
Okay, so this is a very interesting job, because you see the film credits going by, and you see the grips and the best girl, best boy, best girl. Okay.
And bestie. I don't know.
Yeah. And people always wondered, like, what is that person? What do they do? Why would they be the best?
That's what I used to think.
So you're going to get yourself in the credits pretty soon. You're going to see your name up in that position. How's that feel?
I am.
Yeah, sooner or later.
Well, I don't know that I would go be best person right away. I think that might take a few years. But yeah, that would be awesome. The best person, boy, girl, also takes care of the administration, track of who's working that day, repairs, orders, things. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. What got you into this whole thing?
Well, it's a little bit like by accident, if I may say.
Yeah.
Like, I just learned about the program like in the newspaper, and was looking for a job to like fill out. I work seasonally, and I was looking for something to like fill out the year more. So I thought that would be really interesting, and I got probably lots of transferable skills to work in this industry. So yeah, that's what got me here.
Wow. Before Grip, what were you doing?
I also work seasonally. I work in Alberta as a fire lookout observer. I support staff in the towers, and I'm also do relief for the people in the towers. And
Okay. And yourself?
I work in the silviculture industry, so I'm a foreman for a tree planting company. Yeah.
Wow. So it's quite a different sort of place, and now they're quiet on set, but we're outside, which is good. The when we come down to the end of the course and everything else like that, do you what's your goal now? Are you going to want to continue with this? Is it something that has actually been something of interest, or is it something that's just, okay, I've done it now and I've been there, so you want to?
oh yeah, no, definitely want to use it as soon as possible. Yeah, I really appreciate the course, not just for industry purposes, but also there's a lot of practical knowledge just personally. It's wonderful. Yeah, as soon as I can get work, the better.
And yourself, same?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like, I would like to work as soon as possible, and I might even go to the mainland to like try to get some experience, and and hopefully get some work on the island very soon as well.
Well, thanks so much for your time. And as I said, they're rolling inside, so we can't even open the door. So we're going to try to find someplace warm, won't we?
Okay, thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks for being on the Crossroads. Take care. Bye-bye. And here in Campbell River at the film school set, I'm with the mayor of Campbell River, who is Andy Adams. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be out here on the site and see what's going on.
The program I'm doing is it's called Martin at the Crossroads, and it's about, I actually was based overseas for many years working in media. I'm back in Canada and sort of catching up on the last 15 years. And as mayor, you probably see a lot of what's going on in town. And tell me, what's your opinion on this whole the school aspect and the whole film industry?
Well, I have been on council for over 12 years. This is my first term as mayor, but working with Joan Miller with the Island North Film Commission, also being on the Campbell River Creative Industries Council, and in partnership with North Island College. It's just fantastic to see this collaboration come together to do this pilot program. We know that the film industry has had challenges financially to do permanent production here on Vancouver Island, just the cost of transportation, but also the intellectual capacity and the skilled workforce. So to be able to put on programs like this, and we are going to work very hard with the ministry provincially to make this program a permanent program here in Campbell River, because we really see the whole movie and film industry growing exponentially on Vancouver Island. We're a beautiful place, great locations, great sets. Now we just got to get the trained workforce and a couple of studios, and we'll be good to go.
There's a lot of change, what I've noticed over the years, and like Campbell River is, it's known for its fish, and it's also known for the mill, and the mill is not operational now, is what I understand, and that's probably made a major impact to things here.
It certainly has. When we lost the Quinsam coal mine, and then we lost the Near Star mine, and then the Timber West sawmill, and then the Catalyst pulp mill, was a hit of about 3,000 jobs, and those were very good paying jobs. And over the past 10 years we have transitioned our economy and looked to diversify, and It's fortunate that both mines are looking to ramp back up, but that wasn't what we were expecting. And for the new owners of this particular site out here to be able to work in partnership to open up some of the facilities to be able to use is just a recognition of the change of direction that's going on. And it really ties in well with the city's CR Advantage, which is where we are the first municipality on Vancouver Island to have its own municipal broadband fiber network in the downtown core. And that is all geared at moving to the tech sector attraction that really ties in with what our base is. And our base is forestry. We've got aviation up at the airport, and we've got aquaculture and fisheries. Having that technology and having things like the film studio provide that technical background and expertise and people that support what the industry now requires moving forward. And that's where North Island College plays a really, really key part in making that happen.
With technology, with film industry, and I was talking with Joan about this, is the symbiosis of the film industry and local authorities. She said it was very active. And what do you feel special about Campbell River and what they've been doing to be proactive with film industry?
Well, Joan is just such a vibrant, energetic person, and she has been so passionate about building this industry here on Vancouver Island, and in particular in the central North Island, where the locations are magnificent. And we see with Chesapeake Shores filming in Parksville, Qualicum, but also exploring out and looking at other areas for new scenes and new locations. The series Alone that was done up in the North Island had quite a captive audience. And I think as more and more people come and do some shoots here, they're going to see the opportunities to be able to find a place that's very affordable to do it once we get the equipment on the island and the skill set. But just a nice wide open space. You have access to sets that are not as readily available in Victoria or Vancouver or other major centers. So we'll keep going along. But Joan has just done a fantastic job, along with Tanya and all of the crew there.
Well, I know in some cities, any background, anything requires a lot of permits and permissions and fees. And is Campbell River looking at that as it will always be probably a revenue stream, but is it pretty easygoing here right now, or?
Absolutely. As we transition away from the traditional resource base, we know we have to be creative. We know we have to provide incentives, and we're certainly open for business in that perspective. And I think we've proven that with our downtown revitalization, with our 5-year tax exemption for new development that has brought in excess of $40 million of development in the last 18 to 24 months. So yes, we are open to any discussion that provides success.
Sounds like a great incentive. I'm going to have to check it out myself. If you weren't involved in politics and working with the city, what would your job be in the film industry?
Oh, that would be a good question. I don't know. I'd probably be an interviewer like you. I've always liked sports, but last week I was on Phoenix TV for the Chinese network, doing a promo for Campbell River to the Lower Mainland and to mainland China. So interviewing, announcing. I do it every year at the Rotary TV auction. We have a great time, so who knows?
Okay, so you're on camera. You're on camera. That's good to know. I'm going to be back on camera here. And Mayor of Campbell River, Andy, thanks so much for your time.
Well, thank you for being here. And Shaw has been a great supporter here in Campbell River. Jazz and the whole crew do a lot of community work, and we appreciate it. But this is exciting today. Thank you.
It is. Great. Thanks so much again for your time. Have a great day. Welcome to the Crossroads. What's your name?
My name is Ryan Noviello.
And Ryan, what are you doing here?
I'm working in the lighting division at the course, working in the inside the warehouse here. we're building this. We built the set and we're just shooting it now. We set up the lights and we did learning beforehand on the type of lights that we're using, the stands that we're using, where to set them, the type of diffusions that we use. So that's what we're in charge of when we're working on the set here.
So how have you found the course? Are you are you surprised? Is it pretty straightforward? What was any highlights?
The highlights was definitely working inside here. Like it was, I was just blown away by how big of a scale this was. Like how much resources and how much equipment we were able to get our hands on and get a hold of. It was pretty spectacular, actually. Like the amount of stuff that we got to use here, and we got to see how a movie set was actually filmed.
So is it going to be your career, do you think?
I'm not sure yet, but I definitely I love having new things under my belt, and this has definitely been like a very interesting career option, and it's great to see stuff like this popping up on the island, you know?
I think there's something feeding back a little bit. Yeah, I think it might be me.
And it's the dead of winter in the Comox Valley, and guess what? Like this blue sky, and it's not pouring rain in the winds. Of course, the winds just picked up as I started talking, but it's a nice day. And so part of this nice day, which even makes this nice day even greater, is the fact that I've Dawn Pemberton standing next to me, and I'm going to ask her a few questions. And if you don't know who Dawn Pemberton is, you will after this interview. Anyways, Dawn, welcome to Crossroads. How are you?
Thank you. Great to be here.
So you sing, I hear.
It's true. I do. I'm a singer. Play piano, and I do a whole bunch of other things. Yeah.
So soul is your is what's on the cards. What is soul? What is the genre soul?
That's a really good question. It's a big question. To me, soul music is kind of the sort of encapsulation of a group of people striving to express themselves in a time when they weren't seen as worthy or able to be their humanness, their humanity was denied. So I'm talking about Black African Americans who were living in a time when their voices didn't matter, but they found a way to make them count. And so because of it, we have a beautiful genre of music called soul music, very expressive.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's the definition of the genre of soul.
To me, I mean, most people would say, oh, people they're singing really expressively, but I think it comes from being, the sort of like the political environment infused the music and created a music style. People were looking for a way to be expressive, and that soul music came out of that,
When did you find your voice? When did you go from singing like dee-be-dee-be-dee to when did that happen? When did that happen?
I think I was about 14. Growing up, I always thought that I couldn't sing, and I don't know if anyone told me specifically like you can't sing or you shouldn't sing, but I just felt like I just didn't have a good voice, and it made me sad actually. And then when I was in high school, like maybe grade 8, I was like, you know what, forget it, I'm just gonna join choir. I love music. I was already playing piano by then, and I went to choir, and it was like 8 to 12, so like grade 8s and grade 12s, and I was in grade 8. I knew no one at the school, and the teacher was like, who wants to try solo? And I was like, I do. I don't know what compelled me. I don't know what I was thinking. There was like, these big grade 12 guys, and I did it, and everyone was like, whoa. And that was the first time when I thought, maybe I'm good at this. And I think, yeah, I think that was just a moment when I realized, oh, I have a voice. And then when I was in about the 9th grade, I then started taking lessons, and I got really, really serious about it. And from then on, I kind of realized I have this big instrument that I'm still trying to figure out. It's like, getting a Ferrari, and you're like, this is too much power sometimes, right? I'm still learning and discovering things about my voice. It's kind of fun.
That's amazing. It's lovely to hear. Having worked in the music business for many years in Vancouver, and you're from Vancouver originally?
Yeah, born and raised. Yep. Yeah.
What's the inspirations in Vancouver for you? Because I know Vancouver's got a lot of talent, and was there any local talent that sort of gave you inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, one thing there was this band when I was a little bit older, when I could go out to bars and clubs and stuff, but a band called Soulstream that really I just loved their vibe, and they were doing mostly like funk and soul and covers, not too many originals, but they just kind of were showing like what's possible in Vancouver, because there wasn't much happening in Vancouver for soul music at that time. There was in the early 50s and 60s and 70s, and then nothing really came. More of a rock and roll, heavy metal scene, and then an indie scene and a punk scene, but not much soul. So they were wonderful mentors. Just to watch them do their thing and to see what's possible was really inspiring. Yeah.
I don't usually do this because I know it sounds so much like the package talk shows, which is you have an album out, you're gonna hold it up, it's not like with the. I was listening to some of the tracks today because I was I got to make sure I have my I have all my research done, and. That is the freshness in that recording. Who did the production on that?
Yeah, good question. A wonderful friend of mine, his name is Mike Southworth, and we recorded at a studio in North Vancouver called Creative Music Studios. And it's so funny, that you mentioned that. I'm impressed, because we kind of wanted to have a sense of it sort of having a vintage feel, but a newer sound, something a bit cleaner in some ways, which I think is kind of neat. It's refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I noticed a lot of air in it, and there were certain points when you would stop singing and there's no other instrument playing, and then it goes again, and it continues on, and that was something really that's impressive for the ears. And you have the show tonight here in Courtenay, and have you played here before? Have you traveled the island before?
I've been here before. I was at the Philbrick Festival a couple years ago, just up the road or down the road, whichever where were we, that way. And then I've been here. I work with the harpoonist and the axe murder often, and so we're up and down the island all the time. And I love this part of the island. It's just sort of cozy and quaint, and just it's really nice. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time out here. We're going to also have a little bit of the sound check to see what's going on there, to let people know. And well, me too. It's really, I'm really glad you could take the time out. And I know that it's always when you're traveling and you're even if it's not a long distance, you still got to get ready, and you got to keep your throat warm. And I know we're outside, so we have to take good care of the talent.
Thank you very much. Pleasure. Really great chatting with you.
Okay, Dawn, thanks again so much. Take care. All right. Very good.
That was great.
All right.
So I'm good if you're good. Tell me what you need though first.